Hello everyone, how you doing? And welcome back to Skye and Evan in the morning. And today we're gonna be talking about Steve Jobs, the Danny Boyle slash Aaron Sorkin movie from 2015, starring Michael Fassbender. Evan, that was your recommendation because you quite love this movie, don't you?
Quite love it indeed. Yeah. Um this one I watched it like way back when and it surprised me, and it's just one of those movies that I've gone back to a lot and rewatched a lot, and it just everything about this one works for me. There's some people that have criticisms. I'm curious to talk more about you because I've seen it so many times, but this movie just works for me so well. So What what did you think? Like, because I don't imagine you knew too much about this. It's kind of like relatively under the radar, but like, what was your big takeaway?
My takeaway was that it felt quite a bit just like any old biopic. Like a really well done at that, but it's just like it didn't feel
Mm,
anything too like revolutionary for me. Um, it's like it's really well made. The story is well told. I like the way the story is told with three, um, you know, presentations that is cool just
yeah,
before the presentations. Um,
very much like a lot of it. People say this about Sorkin all the time, that he feels like a playwright with like how his stories are executed. Sometimes they feel more like a play than like a movie, and this is one of
yeah,
those like three distinct like acts, like built around the product launches. So
yeah,
I love that.
yeah, and the different style, the way it's shot and everything. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that the deal with that, it's so funny. My family had this like piece of shit HD TV, so like I couldn't tell this way back when, but like it's obvious now. But it's the part from '84 was shot with 16 millimeter, then from '88 was 35 millimeter, and then the '98 one was digital. So they shot on different film stocks for the different time periods to like add to that like sense of like time, make them feel different from each other,
Yeah,
which I love. It's just that same type of like trick with cinematography and like time period. Like Pistol did the exact same thing, and it adds something. It really does. It makes it feel like time has gone by and that things have changed in that time. Like the literal camera changes, and it just I I think it's a great effect.
yeah, but yeah, that's kind of what I think. I thought it was fine, just like good movie. I didn't much like get too much away from it. Why I'm curious why you like it so much because I was just like,
Ah.
you love it so much. Surely there's something I'm missing.
Yeah, well, I mean, just to my go-to, that like one of the scenes that I love and like is up there. Like genuinely, it's one of my favorite scenes in a movie, is the argument with Scully and Steve Jobs, where you cut back to the past and the present, and then like it's that whole thing that can't really be done in a book. It can only just be done in a movie with like the tool of editing, and the way they edit between the conversation and the past and connect it, like it tells the story of Steve being fired from the board, or like perceived as being fired, like he was voted off. But it, it, how they do that and how they use the music as well, Daniel Pemberton, it's the perfect example of a scene that can only be done in a movie, and I just love the execution. That's one of the standout scenes for me.
Yeah, I thought that was probably the best scene in the movie. To be fair, I really liked the editing in that.
Goes on for a while too. It's really awesome and impressive. Um, the characters are standard. It's one of those things as well. It's with Sorkin in general. I love the way that he writes dialogue. It is so entertaining, like
It
scene
is.
for scene, moment for moment. And I
It frustrated me a
the
little
other
because sometimes I would get like a notification on my phone and I went to check it, and then I realized I missed like some dialogue. And with Sorkin, you can't miss dialogue, so I kept having to rewind because I was like, Jesus Christ, this dialogue! I can't like just check my phone while it's they're saying stuff. So yeah,
yeah, the information moves at like lightning pace. It just
yeah,
zips by. You gotta stay engaged. So I The other thing that I love about this movie is like the characters and all the different relationships themselves, because like the characters in the Social Network, they're not really like supposed to be likable. Like for the most, like Eduardo
Hmm.
is supposed to be a likable character, but it you're dealing with people that are a lot more cutthroat than the characters instead of this. Like these people really do all feel like they were part of the company at one point, and they were all like really connected and close, and again, with it almost feeling like a play in that regard, because there's a lot more characters than there are in the Social Network who are more rounded, and I just love all the different interactions. It's yeah.
Yeah, I really liked fuck, what's her name? Kate Winslet's character. Forgot it. The character's name.
Joanna is her name.
Joanna. Yeah, I thought she was really interesting. Um, Kind of like a moral compass for Steve Jobs. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, she reminds me a little of like Catherine from the Slough House books, like one of those
A
just like
little, yeah,
nurturing motherly figures who's just there and like gets Steve as a character and like kind of knows like what his deal is, and maybe puts up with things other people wouldn't put up with. Yeah, I she's amazing in this.
yeah,
Same with Seth Rogen. Like and even Jeff Daniels, because he'd been in like other stuff before here that like shown his acting prowess, but like Seth Rogen was a surprise for me because this was like 2015. This was like before he'd done more of his like serious roles, as it were. But he
yeah. I thought
he's
she was
amazing in
really,
it.
really good. I was impressed. I don't know if I've seen too much of Seth Rogen doing like serious roles other than like Fablemans.
Yeah. Ironically enough, Invincible's another role that is like semi-serious. He's really well cast in that specific role, but
Uh,
yeah, and the studio's coming out, so Seth Rogen, he's turning around. He's doing interesting stuff.
yeah. Oh, there's obviously the Super Mario Bros. Movie, so that was great.
Oh god, who did he play in that?
I don't even remember. Donkey Kong. He played Donkey Kong.
Oh, yeah, this is all right. I could see that. Yeah,
Did you even watch that
I
movie?
could. No, I could see that role. I couldn't see the
Okay.
movie. Yeah.
But
Um.
yeah, I think like a big part of why this movie's so interesting just because how well the actors are doing with their roles. Because
Yeah.
like it is just dialogue for 2 hours. Like there's not much like plot because the plot is just Steve launching a
Yeah.
product three times.
Yeah, it's almost set up. It's almost like making up for lost ground for like what hasn't been covered to the
Yeah.
next product launch, because everything that like important and like plot oriented in this story like happened before the product launch,
Yeah.
basically. Which I think that's the line, is it's like everyone got drunk at the bar like before the
Right
product launch,
before
and
the
like
product
let me
launch.
yeah, and like and that's exactly what it is. Like these conversations, if they happened, they probably happened like before like the big event, but they just condense all of the stuff down to like right
Yeah,
before
for
to make
like
it.
the dramatic purposes, and I think it works quite well, to be
Yeah,
honest, for
but
the sake of the movie.
well, and that's the thing that I do think separates it from the typical biopic like thing. They do make the dialogue as interesting as they can by like maximizing the interactions like before the launches, and it is genuinely interesting like what he did in between after the original Macintosh's failure and what he did to kind of build himself back up. So I think those elements make it stand out from the crowd, because this definitely could have just been any other biopic and just to like, yeah, tune in if you want to know more about his life, I guess. But I think there's a bit more there.
Sure. I don't know. I mean, I give it like a higher rating than I did like A Complete Unknown, which for me that is like a good but extremely generic biopic. This I felt was more interesting just in presentation than that. Um, but again, I don't know if I would put it anywhere like, like Better Man or Rocket Man, like level of like, oh, this is really, really peak.
I'm gonna need to see. I'd actually need to think about like some of the best biopics. Ironically enough, The Social Network is one that
Oh yeah, The
ties
Social
in. Just
Network is obviously
it,
just like I forgot about that. Yeah, that's obviously also the one of the best.
well, it's funny actually. Like the reason why I would say that and have said that for years is that I think it is just the best director like writer combo that I've seen. Like Aaron Sorkin and David Fincher. I'm like those guys. They were born to make a film together.
Yeah.
And this is one of those because this is Danny Boyle, and I'm like, I think that he worked better with Fincher in the grand scheme. And I'm just like, I would say Fincher's a better filmmaker. He's pretty much like the best filmmaker working right now, in my opinion. But um, it's similar in terms of like the director doing really well and the writer doing really well and just making a good team. And I think it's close. I think it's like up there with The Social Network, even though they're very different films. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I liked it. I just I don't, and I think it's just the thing that I have with biopics that it feels a little less genuine when they say stuff like this, is like trying to portray these types of people as like good in their heart. That sometimes
well,
bugs me.
I mean, yeah, like that's something that could definitely be said about both this and The Social Network. One of those, like, people kind of said he was like a scumbag. And they don't like shy away from that in this movie, but there definitely is supposed to be a sense of like, deep down,
Yeah, deep
like,
down he's good,
and
especially the conversation with his daughter, just before the product launch, the last one. Like, yeah,
yeah,
it's
I
just it
seriously
kind of
that
frustrates
last.
me. And what I really like about something like Better Man is that it's a movie made, obviously with Robbie Williams himself. He was very involved. He even narrated the movie. He doesn't shy away from showing how awful he was during his life. And now, he's changed now,
Mm,
but like for a long period of his life, he was just like a really big piece of shit. And he likes like, this is a problem. I shouldn't have been like, a piece of shit like this. And with a movie like this, oh yeah, they're good at, at the bottom of their heart or something. It just feels a little less genuine, especially when it's like a fucking billionaire Steve Jobs, which many things he did throughout his life were not that good, as we all know, but it's whatever.
yeah. I do like the last note you were mentioning it there, like the last bit with Lisa, where it's so great. Like, why couldn't you just lie? Like, I did local integrated systems architecture doesn't even mean anything. Like, he told her so many years ago that like something she just thought was like based on her or like named after her and was like interesting just wasn't, but it's like of course it was. And then that's the line that's like supposed to be the zinger of the movie. I'm poorly made.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love that line for just because that's the other line from um oh god, how am I forgetting was
Was
he
Gant.
says, yeah, he says that your products are better than you are, brother, and he's like,
Yeah.
that's the idea, brother. So that's I do like it's not just that, it is like an element of like maybe he put like all of his mind or put all of his life into like his company and his tech, like his actual technology and products, and he brushed aside. I mean, I do think that's kind of supposed to be the overall note, is that like Lisa got pushed to the side, but they leave on a note of like maybe he'll try to amend things. So
Yeah.
I yeah, I do think there's a little something more there, but it's funny. And realistically, it's one of those films that is a little bit hard to talk about because you kind of need to go through like the specific dialogue scenes. Let's just say like the 1 in 6% chance of working, in which like it's equated to Russian roulette. I love the dialogue in
Oh
that
yeah,
scene.
one
There's
in
like
six chance that it'll work. She's just like,
yeah,
put more
and then they
rounds in
connect
the
that as well
chamber. It
to
was
the
great.
yeah, and then they connect that to the disc fitting in the pocket, which he actually did during the product launch. And it's there's the way the dialogue works in this movie, they just make everything like exciting always and interesting, and everything there's like different problems to have that need to be solved before the launch, and it's great. So yeah, think we probably like talked about the bulk. not quite your vibe, but very much my vibe. Let me tell you, and I would wonder what people who've seen this movie or like might rewatch it think, because not many people. It's one that just kind of gets discarded over the years. People were like, you know, got it like nominated for a couple of Oscars, but it's just like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Like honestly, probably like a complete unknown, where it's like the biopic of the year, but
Yeah, pretty much.
not many people, not many people in the grand scheme see it, and I wish more people did, because I think it's worth it.
Yeah, there is a lot that is like really really good. This and to be fair, like I say, so like I like the movie. It's just not like it didn't blow me away, you know. Um,
Yeah.
it's just that like the dialogue is so Sorkin. I mentioned it to you when I was watching. Like you can tell that this was written by a Aaron Sorkin, because the
Oh
dialogue is
yeah.
so snappy and so quick, and you know there's so much information packed within the dialogue, and it's all character, which I think is really cool. Um, like the entire movie is just these characters and their relationship with Steve Jobs and shit, what's his name? The mentor for Steve Jobs.
John Scully.
Yeah, Scully. He his relationship with Steve is really interesting throughout the movie because we see him, you know, in the first
Yeah.
product launch, and it's just like this father figure to him talking about like, oh, you.
Well, I think that's actually one of the more interesting conversations that happens in the third act, is when, because a huge thing with his character is like him being an orphan and thinking he was abandoned, and yeah, he says that he like it's like is trying to be a father figure to him, and he brings up like tracking down his biological father, and it turns out he did, like he went to a restaurant with him earlier on, and I love that conversation stands out in particular because there was so much animus in their like second conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and in their third, it's just like they just talk
Well,
like old
that's
friends, like they're tired of fighting,
well,
just
yeah, that's
like
how it ends. It's like it's been 15 years. I think it's time we let it go, and they just hug, and it's like, yeah, you know, it is nice.
the things we could have done together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I
things you could have
love
done.
it.
Oh, it's such a good line. Yeah, it's a really, I really like their relationship. I thought probably the most interesting in the movie was their relationship.
Yeah, either that or like was, those are
Yeah,
like the two that I think are like the beating heart of the movie, and Lisa, and by the way, the act all three actresses that played Lisa did a really good job. They look the part for one. They
yeah.
like they could be siblings, but and all three of them like have something to shine in the movie, which I love. So I yeah.
I thought it was kind of funny when Steve is like, "Oh, I'm gonna put 500 to 1,000 songs in your pocket, cause I'm tired of seeing
Set
them."
up for the iPod, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was
Yeah,
kind of
like
funny.
that was very cool. I love that. They just it's like an Easter egg almost. It's almost like an end credit scene from Marvel.
That's
It's
how
like,
I feel. It
whoa,
was
it's
a
an
little like,
iPod.
oh, the iPod. He's teasing the iPod. It's
But I did think that was sweet to just make that like the initial inspiration, 1,000
yeah,
songs in your pocket. I didn't think that was like the tagline for it, 1,000 songs in your pocket. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's a really good movie, and there is a lot of really great dialogue. I assume the fucking script for this movie is so fucking long because there's so much dialogue written. It's,
Yeah. I should read it. I haven't read an Aaron Sorkin script in full yet. I need to. So
yeah, I'm curious how what it's like as well. But it is it's a very fast-paced movie like you expect with Aaron Sorkin, and I think Danny Boyle does work quite well with like bringing like the kind of vibe that you need for this type of movie where everything is just like extremely overwhelming, just a bunch of things happening all at once, a bunch of conversations you need to track. It does feel very Danny Boyle, and I think it works quite well. Not as well as The Social Network, but I do think it is a really good movie, though.
glad.
Yeah. All right. Well, well, well. Is that it? Are we done with not The Social Network with
I
Steve Jobs?
uh, Jesus, that sounds rough. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we talked about it.
Right. Well, well. Then it's my time to recommend something then.
Indeed, it is.
So
What do
what
you have?
We've talked about this movie a few times about how I want to make an episode on it. The movie I want to recommend is Get Out by Jordan Peele. As
Oh,
as
okay.
far as I remember, that is his best movie. I really don't like Nope. I know people
Well,
love it, but
yeah, it's gonna be funny. Like, might get us such like a Shyamalan slash Boyle arc where we like go through Jordan Peele's movies, but
yeah,
oh, Nope is like unambiguously my favorite of his movies.
yeah, I really don't like Nope. But that's the thing.
Yeah,
It's been a few years. When I watched these movies, I was a completely different person. Like almost quite literally. It was before I even came out. So yeah.
yeah.
So other than like Nope, which I saw fairly recently, I've seen Us a few times as well, and I think that movie is just generally really bad. But
Yeah, us. You're not gonna get much. I kind of despise that movie.
yeah, we may as
But
well just do a Jordan Peele arc and go through his three movies. It's only three anyway, so may as well.
yeah, I like Jordan Peele as a filmmaker. It's one of those things where like I there's plenty I could say about his like plot and themes, but like he he's really good behind the camera, and you can tell like he has a vision and something that he's trying to do with
Hmm.
his movies, even if the movies themselves don't necessarily work. And I don't know. I never hated Get Out. I'm curious what it'll be like. It's been a while since I've seen it, so
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. I remember that being the best one, but it's been so long, and I don't know. I If I remember correctly, it's like a pretty okay movie with just extremely unsubtle writing, so it's not
Yeah,
too
and
bad from.
maybe a couple of things that how the actual kidnappings work are really weird in terms it's one of those things. It's also like they're quasi like satirical, like, you know, Jordan Peele's movies have always felt like slightly different from, I mean, Nope gets to literal aliens, so you
Yeah.
know, but
All right. Well,
all right,
then Get Out and Jordan
let it out.
Peele. Yeah. We always talk about Jordan Peele, and it's just like, let's give him a shot. Let's give him another chance.
Yeah, it's worth it though. He's coming up and I don't know, I think he's got one a new one that he's making, right? I'm not sure what it's about,
Think
but
so, yeah. And people
yeah.
love him. I mean, like general
Yeah,
audiences are really, really, really dig his shit, and just like film cinephiles in general just really like Jordan Peele, and I always feel left out because I'm like, but I don't.
yeah, it's against the grain to say you don't like, because most of his movies, if you look into just general critical consensus, it's like, yeah, people just think he's a great filmmaker, like all around. But there's also criticism out there, so I'm
Yeah,
sure it'll be interesting.
yeah. All right, so yeah, we'll catch you next time with Get Out, and we do very much recommend Steve Jobs, even more so. But
Oh,
yes,
yes, indeed.
all
Two
right.
thumbs way up.
Yeah, I give it a thumb and a half. All right. We'll catch you next time, folks. Bye bye.
See ya.